Deze is hartstikke awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, everybody? What is up, insiders? We're excited to be back with you guys live on Facebook.
I'm excited.
And again, if you don't know and you want to support and see more bonus episodes like going on and just support what we do every week for you guys, not just us, but the rest of the martial art inter-network, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/mainetwork. So MAINETWORK, those that are listening on podcasts. So we are excited to continue bringing you more content, more bonus episodes. We just finished our part 2 of our Hall of Fame. So we have our 20 Hall of Famers in sport karate history. It was intense. It was fun. We probably could have made it 3 parts. It's the hardest thing in the world to come up with 20 people that are the greatest, but we did it, and we did it. So, yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's hard once there's a collective group. Is it? Well, I guess we got to listen to the show.
Because here's the deal. I think you will think right now, oh, I have my 20, and then you start hearing other names. Oh, crap, that's right. Oh, wait, that's true. Maybe we wouldn't have this without this person, or this person changed the game. There's so much. So there's a lot to that. So it's, and again, it's a Hall of Fame. So you got to include the most famous people that have come out of our sport as well, and what they've done. So go check that out. Chris, Angel, and I and Travis had a great time doing that. We finished it up this week. So go check that out if you haven't joined our Patreon. And we got more coming to you on that. So what's up, Troy? We are, of course, going to get into VFT. We got a VFT heavy show. And we're going to break down just each competitor. Yeah, talking about the stash.
He doesn't like my mustache. Yeah, for those who are listening, I got rid of most of the beard and I just kept my mustache because why not?
Yeah.
I'm a man, I can do whatever the hell I want. And that's what I decided I wanted to do.
That's true. That's true. All right. So what are we starting with first? We are actually going to go into our competitors of the week. So, Alex, you were going to
I'll
start.
Go first. Yeah, I'll go first. So my competitor,
and what's funny, actually, we mentioned him not last week, the week before, with one of the other competitors of the week that I had, Akin Williams. So
that's true.
Yeah, so this is cool. We're staying in that middleweight, that light middleweight range. So,
well, my competitor of the week, without further ado, is Reggie Perry. Now, Reggie Perry was a longtime member of Team Paul Mitchell. Reggie Perry is also an original Boston Taekwondo black belt. Mm-hmm. And we've had so many members from Boston Taekwondo on the show, talked about on the show. Reggie's probably one of them that we haven't highlighted as much. And you know what I really like about Reggie? If you go back, because I remember thinking like, man, I really like Reggie Perry, but I forgot, like, because it was probably 99, maybe 2001. I think it was probably 2001. Probably the last time I saw him fight. Maybe it was 2002. The more we talk, the more accurate it gets, right?
Right.
So anyway, I just remember thinking at the time, like, this dude's kind of badass, right?
Right.
He's kind of badass, right?
Right.
But I couldn't really pinpoint why. And then as I started watching it a little bit more this week, because when I wanted to highlight him, I'm like, oh, because I fight like him.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I like him. He's just watching him use the like chase. He's pretty much always moving his fighter forward or
Yep.
backward. He's
Yep.
moving, and then just the way it's everything starts with right foot up, right? And
Right.
he's been a middleweight pretty much. I think a light
Yeah.
middleweight and a middleweight pretty much
Yeah.
his whole career.
Correct.
I think is that I've
Yeah.
known, and he ain't short. He's super long, right?
Yeah. That's what made him hard too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, and as I'm watching videos, I'm like, he's kind of making some mistakes here and there. Why aren't guys picking him off? Because he's so stupid long. Like,
Right.
it's like they have to be so far away because he has the reach, the range, and the physical ability.
Yeah,
and
that's what I say.
talent.
He has that dexterity and that of moving his leg wherever. A
Yeah,
lot
not
of the
just up and down,
taekwondo.
but
No.
left and right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
exactly.
on angles as well. Like you'll watch, and I love it when guys do this, when they go up like they're about to do an axe kick and then drop it down to a side
Yep.
kick, but then bring it back up for the axe kick as well.
Yeah.
You're like, geez, the lost
And that's
art.
the classic Boston Taekwondo thing. You know what I mean? Like the Brady's did it. They're one of the best at it. But Reggie, like, in some ways, could be considered the most successful with it because of his longevity. You know what I mean? And into
Yeah,
the era that he did. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because he went longer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Man,
I guess if you take Donald,
yeah, true. That's
Donald
true.
went considerably longer.
But again, with his length, you know what I mean? With that length in that era.
Yeah.
And just the way he did it, he would still most of the time throw a side kick, but he would set it up in so many different ways to where you didn't know where it was coming. But you knew he was throwing it, but just when, you know what I mean? When is that going to come right at me? So
Well, you couldn't really pinpoint what it was.
right.
You knew that the foot was going to come up.
Right.
And but it's hard because he came forward, but it wasn't the same speed all the time.
Right.
So it wasn't 100 miles an hour. Those guys are actually relatively easy to have a game plan for. It's stressful because you have to be right. You have to be correct immediately because if you're not, they will score. I mean,
yeah,
speed is a valuable thing, right? So, but because Reggie's, his pace and his speed wasn't always the same, it made it a little difficult. Like, what am I dealing with right now? You didn't know, right? Because and then right when you feel like, I got him figured out what he's gonna do with his leg. I got it figured out. Pow pow! He comes over the top and just jacks you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I would call him like kind of like that bridge, that gap
between the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah, especially for JPM. You know what I mean? Like he was that one
totally
that from I guess 95 he was on, I believe, maybe 94. But he was in that group with like Mike P and Pedro, and then went into that group with Jody when Jody came on and Preston, and then into the group with Raymond and everyone else. And so really interesting, just the way that he became that glue for that team with him and Mike P for a long time. So then came back years later and did WKC later on. So an amazing competitor. So competitor of the week, Reggie Perry, JPM, Boston Taekwondo. Check him out on YouTube, guys. All right, the next one is going to be someone that kind of goes into what we were talking about this week, and that is Troy Benz. I think he's been one of our competitors of the week before, but man,
yes.
I'm excited to talk about him as a coach, which we have mentioned so many times, especially talking about the VFT and how a lot of the Benz competitors have been competing and been so dominant on VFT, right? And that just goes to show not just his enthusiasm and love for the sport, but and how amazing of a coach he is, but just the insight and the knowledge he has. He prepares his people, and the thing is too is like the students he have that compete, they carry that same heart and passion that he does. You know what I mean? Like because Troy is loves this thing, man. He loves it. And some of his competitors bring out, like a Tyreek Saint. We know this kid has that swag, that attitude. He wants to do it. You know what I mean? And he brings that enthusiasm. when you see a Brianna Nurse, she's dropping people with a reverse punch and an axe kick. Like that's what we want to see, and that's what he's bringing to it. But he's done an amazing job over the past 6 years of adapting to the Waco style, going over there, fighting different people, bringing
He won a
his
gold, right? Didn't he
competitors.
just win a gold the last
Just won a
time?
gold last year at Waco. So, been a great coach for Top 10 USA, him and El Java. So I'm excited to see that he's going to be over there with those guys because he could be competing in that group. Honestly, I think he could be in that group, And so that's a cool thing to see him take that because he's still at that level. You know what I'm saying? When you think about that, him and Bailey, I guess, are the only two reigning Waco champions on the team because the other one was Enrique. Enrique's not there. There might have been one more, but yeah.
No, we had a fair amount of Waco gold medalists.
I think that made it to the final round, but not gold. Yeah, that made it to.
I was just going to correct
silver
myself.
Or yeah. So yeah, I mean, pretty cool, man. So I'm excited to just to see that. Troy Benz always like to throw this in there. He has one of the coolest weapons forms I've seen. Would love to see him do that. He would do a nunchuck. A nunchuck and a kama. Yeah.
Excuse me, what?
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, man.
Wait, tell me how this whole thing works out.
Just he would throw it up, swing it up, catch it, pop it up, pull it back with the kama. Yeah, man. Lots of cool stuff. So yeah. I competed against him a couple times with that. Would have loved to see him do it more at big tournaments. So
you know what you just did, right?
Challenging him to do it.
No, you didn't.
Calling him out.
No, you didn't.
What?
Rashad's going to try it now.
Oh, yeah.
Rashad is going to try that. He'd be like, what? Somebody thought of a weapon routine that I did not yet do? Challenge accepted.
All right. So before we get into VFT, one thing, because Jackson's on here, he just posted, I'm excited about, we usually don't pipe other people's podcasts, but we do with Jackson because we love what he does and we work together.
He's kind of one of us. He's almost like a Mark Arthur Network cousin.
He is. And remember, we still have our fantasy thing that is coming up next week. So you got to get our team set up for diamonds. That's going to be insane.
Gosh, that's right.
I don't want to lose any more matchups. I lost to Jackson, so I'm not.
I haven't won a matchup.
So, yeah, you need to win one. Actually, I think you're going against me. And also, we're going against each other in fantasy football this week too.
Speaking of fantasy, I can't buy a win. Is there any amount of money that would get me a win in fantasy football?
I don't know, bro.
I don't know. Everything I did wrong. I'm picking up quarterbacks like Marcus Mariota or something like that.
Yeah. All right. So this week, Jackson has Zach Johnson, the PGA professional golfer on his show, because apparently he's a sport karate parent. I had no clue. So that's going to be really cool. Yeah. So I'm excited about that. You golf guys, check that out. I'm excited. So pretty cool. Going to be a good insight into like one of the top players in the world, at a high level sport like that, and their view of what we do. So pretty cool. All right. Here we go. Bristol Open, VFT,
and
the
Bristol
challenge. Open. Man, this is going to be insane. How you feeling for
it, all about, man? It is going to be, I think it's going to be everything that, we've been saying it is. It's going to be the best term of the year. I think it is. But I also think it's going to be one of those big events where, let's talk about, because we talked about it a while back, the Kumite Classic, when they had they're giving out $10,000 for the team fighting.
Right.
But once you were there, it was still just all right, but who's going to win the dang tournament?
Right.
Or the Battle of Atlanta when they had their Viking Ninja Warrior Challenge, and you're like, all right, that's cool and all, but who's going to win the dang tournament?
Right.
You know what I mean? And I still think like once everybody enters the building, right, it's going to be like, all right, that thing's going to be cool, but now who's going to win this tournament?
Right.
And I don't want that to get lost, because this is going to be the best tournament of the year, because it's not just this, all right, we're all showing up to do the VFT. No.
Right.
The Bristol Open is happening.
Right.
So
yeah. So it's gonna be really, really exciting.
and
The event starts this Saturday. Sorry, this Saturday. What do you say? 1:30 our time, Eastern time. So
that seems like it makes sense.
Yep, 1:30 Eastern time. Yes, that's what we're talking about.
So what what I'm interested about is, all right, well, they're likely going to have team fighting for the Bristol Open.
Mm-hmm. No, they don't. They do tag team sparring for Bristol.
Do they? That's all they do is just tag team?
In the history of Bristol, I haven't ever seen them do team. It's been just tag team. That's been their main thing.
All right.
They've stayed away from doing the same thing everybody else does.
Kind of cooler, right?
Yeah.
Right. So then, because like,
and I think they do it for men and women. So
when you go, what you should do when going to an event like that, like the Irish Open, like the Point Fighter Cup, you should enter as many fighting divisions as you can.
Correct.
Right. It's just so interesting. Not just using my personal experience as an example. I fought in 5 different fighting divisions.
Yeah.
When I went, and like, excuse me, what? Yeah. Right. But I thought it was cool because, 3 of them were just all competing for the same thing. Like, can I win my weight division? Right.
Right.
Which I didn't, but whatever. All right. So you get the opportunity to do that. And I just feel like guys should do that as much as possible. So then now look we got the tag team. It would be cool. Are Brandon and Bailey going to tag team? That would be kind of fun to see.
Yeah.
Or are we going to see something totally different? Are we going to see, like, I don't know, Brian and maybe Devin,
Right.
It could be a ton of people. And you know what? CTE talked about that this week, that I think it was Travis that mentioned it, that when you go to events like this, you find yourself cheering for the people, not just Americans.
Right.
Like when you go to, like, I'll just use
Mexico, Venezuela.
Boom, you said it. It's the people we know, right?
Right.
We know them, so we cheer for them. It's just like when we see sport martial arts competitors in another avenue or another arena, like, you cheer for them, right?
Right.
Like when you see Michael Page fight in Bellator, like, you're into that now, right?
Yeah.
You're like, I know that guy. He's one of us, right?
Correct.
It's the same type of thing. So I think that's going to create a lot of buzz. I think everybody's going to be jacked about it. I still think with that, Elijah Everill's the grand champion. Right?
Yeah. I mean, all right. I think we talked about this before. Yeah, that we think it's probably Elijah. Still has the potential to win that, but I think
there's no reason not to pick him.
Yeah, I mean, you all, especially over there, right? But he's also very good, even when he comes here, at maybe on Friday takes a loss or two, which I feel could happen in this team event. But then the next day he makes the adjustments and then demolishes people, So I'm really excited to see that. I think this being before everything else, I think, right? I believe this is the
you think the VFT is going to happen before the tournament?
Yeah, it's before one of them. Maybe the open weight's the next day. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yes. That seems like that makes more sense. Like, that's more accurate.
Yeah, so I think maybe they do their divisions during the day, and then the event is that night, and then the next day they're doing open weight. Somebody clarify for us. But
that seems like that would be the most accurate. If you're saying that it's 1:30 Eastern time here when the VFT is happening, that seems like, all right, that's going to be their finals. That's going to be their or the gala, or whatever
Correct.
that's going to be. I think that's going to make the most sense.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got the ladies. All right. This is going to be part of it. One part. Man, I'm still a little confused with the 6 women for Europe and 5 for America. From what they said on CTE, that Chris thought that one of our people were going to have to fight twice. That seems a little weird, but
They announced
okay.
they announced somebody else who's out. Is it Peyton Fender?
Yeah, that's still 5, bud.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the thing right now. So
Okay,
there's
cool.
6 on one side and 5 on the other. So let's just look at one side and the other, and then just talk about the experience level of each of them. Maybe if we had talked before about maybe ranking like who is the top, on the team, and maybe with the low, not saying like this person's the worst on the team. That's not what we're saying, but we're saying like experience wise, like where are they at on this, especially
Yeah.
with that.
Screenshot
Who
me
are we
what you got right
you
now,
know?
so I can go. So I can see what you have.
So I have
Just text it
on
to me so I can see it too.
okay. On the
And then we'll go over it together.
yeah, on the America side. Hold on, man. It's hard to do 2 things at once. Okay, bud.
Ha! They're gonna be complicating things.
Yeah. On the American side for women, we have Katana Everett, which we all pretty much know. That would be our number 1 on the American side.
She's the best
We
fighter
have
from the Americas.
we have the Katarina from Canada, Brianna Nurse from America. How come I don't have the names? I'm just looking at the faces. Peyton Fender, and then from Mexico. I'm not sure
I
why
don't
I'm
know.
having a blank on her first name. I know her last name, De La Barrera. Hold on. We need more. Oh, here we go. So that is who. Those are for USA. For women, we have Tina from Slovenia. We have Elena from Italy. We have Francesca Sisi from Italy. We have was it Jody Brown.
Yeah, she's
I'm
very
not.
good.
I think is she from Ireland?
She's from Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have was it Keisha? She's from England or Germany?
No, she's from Germany.
Germany. All right, that's right. All right. And then Evelyn, right? Evelyn Naines,
Yep.
now from the UK. So do both of us have pretty much the same number 1s, Evelyn and Katana? I mean,
Evelyn should be the number 1.
yeah.
But
It's not by a big margin though now, right? She has the experience though, and she has the high level of winning overalls at the biggest tournaments, winning world titles, competing over here against Americans,
Well, but we're not in America when we're doing this. That's what I mean. I think it's so clear cut.
Time out. I didn't say in America. I said competing against America.
I know. I get that.
So yeah.
I know. So
Shut your face, stupid stash.
oh my gosh, you love it.
Yeah, sorry, Cassandra. My bad.
All right.
Brain fart,
So
Cassandra.
it's clear. It's obvious that Katana's the best here. I think Brianna Nurse would be right there. Okay. But
that one's kind of hard. I mean, I think it could be
Yeah.
a toss up between her, Cassandra. Cassandra's done very well. Katarina is very young. She's 16, but she's done Waco. She has that style
she's
that
gonna
I
do
think.
okay. She's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I think she's gonna have a good style.
I hope
against
she
them.
gets a W. I don't think she will. I'm gonna be very bold. Listen, I do not think if they want the matchup of Katana on Evelyn outside of Brianna Nurse beating somebody, I don't know if the Americans win another match.
Okay.
I think Brianna Nurse will win her match. And I think if Katana's on Evelyn, I think that might be the only match that the women win.
Wow. we weren't gonna do predictions,
But I
but,
just
whatever, man. That's fine.
I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know,
let's
man.
look at Jody Brown, because we were talking about like,
Yeah.
oh, Jody Brown, like I think I know her, I think I don't. Jody Brown is one of Dave's students, by the way.
Correct.
Dave Heffernan's students. So can't ask for a better situation with that, right?
Right.
She's legit, man. She's I think she's a Waco world champion. I think
Okay.
she is. But I mean, she doesn't quit. She's extremely talented, right? And what I like about the Irish fighters is they don't all have that extremely rapid fire bounce, right? That
Right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They don't all do that, right? But they all can do that and mix it in and out. I just feel like her ability with her kicking ability will help her. And I think maybe that's understated right now. The kicking ability of the Europeans is pretty high, especially the Italians.
Especially in the females. In the females, I think it's very high.
Did you know that Elena I think I'm saying her last name right, Pantaleo? She was like the athlete of the year 1 year from Italy, right? Yeah. And like, get out of here. What? Right? Think about that. Think about a point fighter being the athlete of the year for America. We're like, right. Excuse me, LeBron James still exists on the planet.
Right.
And in this country. I don't think that will happen. Right.
Right.
It's just weird, right? It's weird. But and her ability is very, very good. I think
it's also weird because Luisa was in the same country, but okay.
But I think she was done
with, yeah, I know.
But that's where I was going to go. I was going to go with Luisa Galati. She started out. I think how the story goes with that is Luisa just like told her like, hey, you should try kickboxing sometime. Like they were working out at the same gym, and she was like, oh, really? And like she was in like an adult or like a late teen, and she was like, oh, okay, I'll try it. And then like that year, she was fighting in like a Waco like world rated tournament.
Wow.
Like how does that happen?
Yeah, that's insane.
Right?
Yeah. Wow. That's nuts, man. So yeah, again, the kicking ability of all of these ladies that I've seen, Elena has great kicks. Tina, that leg, the reach, she likes to throw lots of different angles. Francesca, she has that fast pump. There's so many. Keisha, sorry. Kesha, sorry, the singer.
Yeah. Freudian slip. Who knows?
Yeah. So lots of stuff. I think still Evelyn is the most overall fighter there, but it's really close because again, you say Keisha could be a number 2, Elena could be a number 2.
It is the experience.
Yeah.
And so it's the experience why we would say Evelyn would be the best, but I also say that because Chris says this all the time. Every time we start talking about fights, like matchups, like styles make fights.
Yeah.
I kind of see Brianna Nurse beating whoever she fights.
Okay.
I don't think anybody she fights, except for maybe Evelyn, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she loses.
So who do you want to see Katana fight besides the whole Evelyn? Like, what would be the best matchup you think for America to have her go?
I'll go a couple of directions with this. If you want to talk about for Katana,
yeah,
like what would I? And then you got to ask why. Like, what would a Katana Everett fan want for Katana to anchor against whoever the heck else is out there and win? Because she's not going to be ahead. There's no way. If they're not going to be ahead, right? So if she anchors and she wins the team matchup, and you're a Katana Everett fan, dude, buy that stock. You know what I mean? Did you
Okay.
follow where I'm going, or did I just confuse you? You look. Your
No,
face looks like
I get what you're saying, but here's the deal. So who is the matchup for her to get a lot of points on? That's what I'm asking. Like, how is
Oh,
she going to do that? How is she going to get points on someone if you think the only way for USA to have a chance is for her to get a lot of points on someone? So who is it for that?
well, I think the easiest one might be Jody Brown, and the only reason I say that is because she has a significant height advantage on her.
Right.
But Keisha might be a good one.
Is she good at negating though that, like keeping it low and making her not score as much points?
When you say her, you mean is
Jody,
Katana good at that?
No, Jody. I'm talking about Jody. Like keeping it a close matchup, not getting blown out. Because that's what it takes in team fighting, you know.
I've seen her
You
fight
can
a lot,
lose, but it's
I don't
really
know that
about
I've
keeping it
seen
close.
that. I don't know that I've seen that much out of her to know
Right.
that much.
Right.
But I mean, at first glance, I think that might be it. That might be the matchup.
Yeah. So as far as just to fights that we want to watch, like I'd like to see Cassandra versus Francesca actually, because I just think I just think that would be a fun fight to see. You know, interested to see how Peyton handles the pressure of these women. You know, it's going to be tough. So I like to see her versus Elena.
And I don't want to make it sound like Cassandra and Peyton and all these other females like I'm dogging them. I'm not. I just am looking at their ability. Like I'm not saying like Europe's gonna blow them out. I just have to look at this in black and white and go.
They have the advantage.
They're just better.
Yeah, they have the advantage.
They're just better.
Right. I'd like to see Brianna versus Tina because that's going to be I think their heights are very similar. I don't really know that, but the power of Brianna,
Dude,
I want to see it overwhelm her.
Huh? I want to see highlights from Brianna. I think I want to see her against Francesca.
Okay. Yeah.
If I want to see Brianna Nurse highlights, I think I would want to see it against Francesca. Because Francesca's still gonna come, the leg's still gonna come up, and Brianna's gonna axe kick over it, or she's gonna truck stick her with the guard and then punch her. Remember playing Madden?
It's gonna be good. Stick? I don't know. Do you remember who Brianna lost to at Waco's?
No, I do not remember. I was thinking about that. I do not remember.
She didn't make it to I don't think she made it to the final fight. I think she got bronze, but I don't remember who that was. But all right, so it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. The men. So we got men. This is going to be wild. Where are we at here? So how do you say the guy from Guatemala? Andres.
Andres.
Yeah. Andres. D-Stacks. Brandon Ballou, Bailey Murphy, Brayon Rodriguez, Devin Hopper, Kevin Walker. Kevin's over there right now competing at WKC. Look like we added Oscar. We have Oscar Garcia, we have Tyson Ray, and we have Tyreek Saint. So was there someone that we're missing? Because I don't remember Oscar being one of the original ones that were on there.
I don't either. But here we are.
But no, Oscar is one of my favorite up-and-coming fighters, so I'm excited about that. All right, on the other side, we have Roberto Caducci, Connor Maglici, Timmy Sarturius. Is that how you say it?
Sarantudis, I think.
Yep. Tolley, Chris Ashton, Elijah Everell, Richie Everidge, Richie Barrett, Borislav.
That's a Freudian slip.
And there's one more. What's the guy's name? It's the guy in the white helmet that I'm looking at right now. I can't think of his
name. Isn't that the Italian? Oh, Boris.
No, I already said Borislav.
Oh. I don't know. Dominic Meyer. Did
Okay.
you say Dominic Meyer?
I didn't.
All right. All right.
All right, so go ahead. What about Zach? Is he on that? Zach Tillin? Is he
I don't
on that list?
Here's
I just
what I'll
see.
say as a whole. I'll say
Yep.
as a whole that the States by far has the better team. Is by far they're the better team.
Really?
By far. Right? And I've talked to people who think that the States aren't going to win a match. Right?
Yeah.
I keep saying States. I'm sorry. America.
Yeah.
America has the better team. And yeah, of this matchup, Elijah's the best fighter of all of these fighters of the collection. He's the best, which is why I said, all right, for the Bristol Open, I'm picking him to win the grand champion.
Right.
Yes. Not this. Right. However, right, with this, and this goes for all talented fighters in the US or anywhere in the Americas. When you go to Europe and you fight in a walkout tournament, beware. You can get taken out by a scrub real easy.
Like that, yeah.
And I don't even want to say scrub, although the way their technique is would look like a scrub. And I will say Chris Aston as a prime example. When you look at, and listen, I'm going to respectfully call it out like this, right?
Right.
When you see his technique, none of that, you never look at that and go, wow, I want technique like that. You would never say that. You would never, ever say that. All right. It's front hand, body, back fist, right? He has a decent rear hand blitz when it happens.
Right.
He has one of the ugliest looking kicks on the planet. Although as ugly as that looks, it's better than Tomas Imre, right? So then, all right, but he still wins, right?
Right.
So here I just went and go, listen, you would not look at that technique and go, yeah, I want to be like that. Yet he finds himself winning. Why is that? Because he's smart and he'll pick you apart, and he will, right? And if you allow yourself to let him lull you into position, it's over, because the dude is stupid long, right?
And I feel the same way about Tolley. Like he's a similar, like Tomas didn't do anything to me.
Whatever. Listen, Tomas is a champion. He's a champion, but he knows he can't kick. Come on now. So, all right, let's go. So let's go. I'm using Chris as an example, right?
Yeah.
So Chris is very tall. He's very long. His wingspan is longer than he is tall.
Right.
So he does a very good job of like shrinking himself, like shrimping like you're in jiu-jitsu, but like a point fighter. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right. And then all of a sudden,
true, though.
It's true, right? But then coming in with like a full extension, and you're like, how did I allow myself here? I felt like I had the reach advantage. No, all of a sudden he's reaching behind me. You see what I'm saying? And if you look at them and go, I got this guy, you could get taken out. And that goes for all of them.
Yeah.
Now, I guess a matchup I'd like to see, Brandon Balu versus Richie Veras. Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I really like to see that. I at first thought, just from, I'm telling you, the highlights that Travis put together were really good. That made me like really think that Borislav was awesome. Like I've never seen the guy. I watched the fight, but that highlight was awesome, right? I was like, I like to see him and Brandon, even though he has a big weight, gap between the two. But yeah, Richie Veras and Brandon would be really good. I agree.
Now, I think just about now. Listen, and Tolley is a super talented fighter.
Yes,
he's very good, and he's leveled up consistently. But I look at all of the guys on the Americas. I think any of them beat him.
Yeah, but who do you think will put the most points?
As an example,
I feel like a D Stacks or a Devin would actually be good on him.
As long as Darren doesn't set down shallow, like if he's kicking
Darren
at him,
Payne.
which he should,
doesn't
exactly. Overextend or set down shallow, like he'll take off.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Actually, that's probably the one matchup I maybe wouldn't do. I probably put
You said Darren. Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
put Darren on one of the Italians or
You're
Connor.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Connor, put him on Connor.
Connor's not an Italian, but okay.
I said Italians or Connor.
Okay. All right. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looking at this, all right, let's just go down the lines of the Americas, okay? And I'll say it like this: outside of Elijah Everill, we're just going to say that, all right?
Right.
I think Elijah Everill wins. I have to say that no matter who he fights, Elijah Everill wins that match. Okay, I'm just going to say that, right? That's the way that's going. All right. If Tyreek Saint were to fight anybody else on Team Europe, does he win?
I don't know, man.
Yes.
I think he has a very good shot.
I think he beats any one of those guys that he fights. Dominic Meyer, yes. I think any of them. Okay. I feel the same about Kevin Walker.
I think he would beat Richie, because of the speed, just the youth.
Yeah. I think
Kevin
Walker does the same. I think Brandon does the same. I think Bailey does the same. Bailey beats anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think Devin Hopper could. I think Brian Rodriguez could. This is the weirdest thing. I'm going complete opposite as I am from men to women.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? I think for the women, I thought, all right, Katana Everett could win her match. Or no, I said it the opposite. I said Brianna Nurse could win her match.
Yeah.
All right. I think Katana can, but Brianna's the only one that I know likely will.
I agree, Jackson. That's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to put whoever they think is going to be the biggest offensive threat. So I think Richie would probably go against Bailey, or someone like with a long leg, like Darren.
This is hard. It's so hard to do this, though. It's hard to do this in sport karate when we start going like, what matchups would you do? What matchups do you think are going to happen? You never can know. You can never know what the matchups are going to be.
Never know.
And even if you go, these are the matchups I want, and you get those matchups that you exactly wanted, you might lose every match.
Yeah. I think it's going to be some weird stuff, man. Like Tyson is probably going to go against one of their heavier guys. I think there's going to be a lot of things like that. It's not going to, and really when you look at it, I guess we have two heavier weight fighters like Brayon and
but they don't have any heavy
Devin, but that's really and
Chris Ashton is their heaviest guy.
And then what's Tolley? He's a little bit.
I think Tolley fights in minus 84 kgs.
But a lot of those guys are so tall, man, so long. That's where I guess it just seems to me. So I don't know. Who do you want to see Borislav go against? I like this guy's style, man.
I mean, probably Tyreek.
Okay. Yeah.
The thing about Tyreek is you're gonna get highlights, man.
I like to see him versus Tyson actually, because I want to see if he tries to sweep Tyson. So, because Tyson tries to put, is good with the leg and can put it anywhere. So,
I love that people are starting to give Tyson credit for his leg too. Tyson might be.
He's a good kicker, bro.
Tyson, and everybody wants to give Enrique Latona the best. Like, Enrique Latona, he's the best. Tyson Ray might be the best kicker right now. He might be.
Could be. I still like Ryan George as one of my,
I love me some Ryan George kicking.
Ryan George kicking.
I haven't seen it outside of.
And again, and I think you're one of the only ones that really put this out there a lot too, is that people sleep on Kevin Walker's kicking, and
Oh, Kevin! Yeah. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I saw Kevin Walker kicking a couple years ago.
Yeah,
it was AKA 2020.
Yep.
The last real one, right? And then he's out there, just light leg everywhere, and I'm like, oh my gosh! If this guy kicks like that, he'll be the best kicker the whole year, no question. He's the best kicker. He was the best kicker that whole tournament. Like, he's gonna be the best kicker of the year. This is it. And then the year pretty much shut down.
Yeah. Man, so this is gonna be good. I know it was Oscar. Originally, I think James Poor was announced. So I believe. So he's not going to be doing. It'll be Oscar Garcia, which I love. I love watching this kid, and he's fought over there. And fights all over the place. Fights every weekend in Mexico. So he's ready to go. So excited to see that. And he's won a lot of the super lightweight divisions in NASCA. So this is going to be a great fight. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to feel the energy in the room, even though we won't be there, but I feel like we'll be able to feel it live, like on pay-per-view. So go check it out, guys. My Uventex, virtualfighttour.com. And
now I don't know if Jesse's going to do this, but if they're going to do interviews before, like during and after, like the matchups, I really kind of hope they do. I hope they interview Dave Heffernan too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure they'll interview the coaches. A lot. Yeah.
He doesn't. I don't say it. Dave doesn't talk enough.
Right.
He should, because Dave's got inside. Dave knows all of these fighters.
Right.
All of them.
It's going to be interesting.
It's very understated.
Really yeah. All right, let's get into the
collision
argument for the show, because man, we got into it. You and I did. We disagreed on this fight.
All right.
And if anyone wants to know if Alex is getting old and senile, it is after watching this fight. Oh my God.
Woo. Shut your mouth.
Dude, this man. All right, so we got Badahari versus Overeem. This was Saturday. This is the third fight. This is what was it, 12, 13 years since their last fight?
2009.
Yeah. So these guys, a lot older. Badahari.
Dude, and there's no way, by the way, there's no way anyone can tell me Alistair Overeem is not on steroids. That dude lives on anabolic steroids. Look at that.
Okay.
Look at that human.
So what? He eats horse meat and shark. That's what it is, man. Horse meat. He's back on the horse meat diet.
He eats horse meat and shark?
Yeah, that's what he always says. That's how he gets all beefed up like that. So and it's easier to find there at home and not when he was in the States before or whatever. So
horse meat and shark.
Yeah. Oh, Uberim, man. So watching this fight, okay, wow. Both these guys are accomplished. Overeem's won the Grand Prix. Badahari's never won the Grand Prix. He's been in the finals twice. That doesn't exist anymore.
Wait a minute. No. He should have won the 2009 Grand Prix when he beat Alistair Overeem and ghetto stomped Remy Bonjasky.
Exactly.
And Remy Bonjasky's KO'd laying on the mat, and they gave him the win.
Well, because he stomped the fool. Like, dude, you're stupid.
He's literally the only man standing.
Still,
he won.
It's just that's kind of what I hate. That thing in some way has kind of defined his career of just him having that burst of energy and then just freaking out, not thinking straight, right? He's supposed to be on a comeback over the past couple years, and it just hasn't turned out well for him. He's been dominating and winning, or winning a lot of these fights and then gets knocked out and gets dropped. Nothing really changed here with that. So he, Overeem is more of a MMA fighter that can kickbox, right? You're talking about probably Holland's or the Netherlands' best MMA fighter probably of all time in some ways, besides Bas Rutten maybe. But there's not too many that have. Yes, but look at this dude. He's the only person that's won kickboxing and MMA championships at the same time.
You know, it was a wild stat though. When I saw it, I didn't believe it. I had to pause the video because remember, I watched the fight after it happened. I had to go back and then I paid and I watched it. So he's only had 14 fights.
Right. That's what's crazy. He's only had 14 kickboxing fights.
And
I think he's had 30 or 40 MMA fights. And Badahari's had over 100
or 80 or something like that.
I think it was over 100 or something. Yeah.
It was over 100. Wow.
Yeah. And
look at
so
that.
here's one of the things that people got to realize. So they think, oh, he's done a lot of MMA and this and that. So, but doing kickboxing, those guys would do 15 fights a year, sometimes more than that, right? And or at least 10, you know. And there's only 3 rounds, 3-minute rounds, but the amount of punches you take to the face, kicks your body absorbs, it's more in many ways to MMA because and his knockout card it's probably been punched more than Overeem's has, you know.
You talking about Overeem or Badahari?
Badahari's knockout card has probably been punched more, you know, especially when you're talking about all those fights. The thing with kickboxing, you drop them, they can get back up. So that's the concussion. That's a knockout. And then you go in and do it again. You know, that's another time. So
it's a knockout within the rules.
Yeah. So it's like, man, like, I think even though he's 5 years younger than Overeem.
No, what was it?
Yeah, because he's 37, Overeem's 42. So
4 or 5, okay.
He's gone through more. His body's probably been through more, because here's the deal. People weren't trying to knock out Overeem. The only person that really went to try to knock out Overeem was Francis Ngannou, right? The other people wanted to take Overeem down because they wanted to wrestle him. They did not want to mess with his striking ability. You know what I mean? When he was younger, I think he got knocked out. Didn't Chuck Liddell knock him out? I think he did.
Dude, Badahari knocked him out.
Right. I'm talking about MMA, my friend. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to you we've seen Overeem get knocked out in MMA, but not many people were trying to gun for him. In Badahari's 100 fights, that's all they had to do was strike with him, is what I'm trying to say. Most people are going to take down Overeem. So his head is not absorbed as much as Badr has. Okay. That's what, and you watching this and all of Badr's fights, he gets clipped. It's not going to be very good. Right. And we're talking about Overeem, who is like ridiculously strong, has some of the best inside game there is. Right. So let's go into first round. First round, Overeem is looking awkward because he hasn't fought in kickboxing, 13 years? Looking very awkward.
Dominated him.
Dominated him. But see, if you go back and watch it again, a lot of Badahari's strikes. No. A lot of Badahari's strikes didn't actually connect. They were on here. They were on here. He threw a lot more and he landed on, but nothing significant. And the thing is, what Overeem was doing, he was going in with this lunging jab. And instead of just jabbing like this, he would lunge and jab and like launch it and push Badahari's face back. So that was just wearing Badahari out the whole time, right? If you really look at it, in the end of the round of the first one, Badahari hit more significant strikes at the end. But it was a little bit later on. The second one.
We both agree Badahari won. But we say he won it 10-9 Badahari, right?
Oh, yeah, 10-9. It wasn't, he didn't dominate. Yeah. Right. Second round, this is where it gets. I'm sitting there thinking, this ref is all for making Badahari win this fight. Oh my God. Wow.
I disagree with you on this.
The guy got dropped twice and he didn't count him. He got dropped with a round kick to the body, and Badahari's like, oh, and they're like, oh, it's got to be a low kick because Overeem, can't kick that high. Oh yeah? Go back and watch it. It was a round kick right at the belly button. And they gave him as much time to recover as they could because they called it a groin shot. That was cheating.
All right. How about the time?
Hey, time out. Where's Badahari from? Morocco. Where was the ref from? Morocco. Okay. Next one. All right. Badahari is hitting more significant strikes. Overall, he's landing more shots in this round. But it should have been a 10-7 round because guess what else happened? Uppercut here. His hand touches the ground. Guess what, Alex? Your hand touches the ground from a drop. That's a knockdown. 10-second knockdown.
But Bada knocked down Overeem.
He never knocked him down. He never knocked him down. He slipped. They didn't even call it. That was not even. Bada Hari didn't even throw anything to knock him down. Overeem punched and slipped and fell.
Okay,
You
listen.
don't know what you're talking about.
When Bada got hit like that, okay,
He
that
dropped and fell. It was and
late into that was late in the second.
yes, and Overeem should have went in to kill because he drew back and was about to. Did you see that? And I was like, dude, you just do it, and he didn't. I don't know why he didn't do it. He could have ended it in the second round.
Early in the second, who was dominating the round? Bada Hari.
Yes, he was dominating. I said that. But
So
when
Bada
you
Hari's
drop someone
dominating the round,
twice, guess what?
Dropped
That's
him,
a 10-7 round.
dropped Overeem.
He never dropped him.
Yes, he did.
Overeem slipped. Overeem slipped. He never dropped him.
So look at what you're saying now. So you're saying Overeem slipped, but he knocked down Bada Hari. And I'm saying Bada Hari didn't get knocked down. Bada Hari, the ref told him he could hang, so Bada Hari hung. Right?
That's fine. That's fine. So
then
here
how
we
can
go.
you say? Well, you can't say
One
it should
judge.
be 10-7.
One judge. Time out. One judge called it for Overeem. The other two called it for Bada Hari. So we have this. All right.
So it should be with 10,
10-9, 10-9. Yeah. There's 5 judges in kickboxing.
Right. So it should be both rounds are 10-9 Bada Hari.
For all but one judge. So one judge has it tied right now. So third round. Here we go. Bada Hari's doing pretty good. Actually, he's probably winning on points, but Overeem is like wearing him down, dude. He is wearing him down.
He's clearly playing the long game.
And all of a sudden, you see it coming and just boom, hook, boom, uppercut, boom.
It's so weird though. Like, didn't it look weird? Like the way Alistair Overeem, like the way he was landing those things. Obviously, he's a massive human, so it hurts, right?
Dude, Alistair's knees are just nasty.
Right, but like, look at those punches. Like, you ever notice like his forearms are larger than the actual glove?
Yeah,
like, how is this
that's
human?
Insane, right?
How is it? But anyway, so none of the techniques in the punches looked all that great. It just looked like you have a huge human. It almost looked like Bob Sapp. You know, you see Bob Sapp fight.
All right, it wasn't that bad. He has a lot more.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. You're right.
But here's the deal: Bob Sapp won the K1 Grand Prix.
Right.
That's insane.
Just plowing through people with hands to go like this
whatsoever. Oh, it was ugly. I hated that.
I kind of felt the same way about Overeem. But then, listen, we've all fought awkward fighters in point fighting before. And we'd much rather fight someone who's extremely talented.
Right.
Right?
He combined that MMA style with kickboxing very well. Like throwing his body in a way to where Bada Hari couldn't do anything with the leg kicks. You know what I mean? A lot of guys in the kickboxing realm, especially in K1 style or Glory style, fight straight up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Overeem doesn't do that. He goes in, lunges in, almost like a box. I don't know. He doesn't have the skills of a Mike Tyson, but you know what I'm saying? Like
very unorthodox.
Very unorthodox. Lunge in there like a bull, but we're talking about a guy who's probably twice the size of a Mike Tyson, right? Pushing him in there, and then with nasty knees. So he just drops Bada Hari. Just pummel him.
Bada Hari got dropped.
Drunk
I
on
don't
his
think
feet.
it was like, oh my gosh, he rocked him. I think it was more of Bada Hari was just.
It was a 10-second time. All right, it was 10 seconds. So here's the deal: the ref didn't even go check him until 4 seconds in. All right, so that should have been knockout.
No,
he comes back. Here's what Overeem did a good job on. He waited. He didn't run in and try to immediately do it again.
No,
because that's how you get. That's how you get caught. And Overeem was really smart on that. Started throwing his knees. Started throwing, the inside game that Overeem has. Dropped him again. So there you go. Dropped him twice in the round. This time it was a 12-second count.
The next time you tell the story, it was going to be 22 seconds.
It was so bad. So
he hit him and spit some of that shark meat at him.
It was bad, dude. I'm like, come on. Overeem, though, knows, all right, I dropped him down twice. That's 10-7. I won this. He's finishing like that, and he wins.
And it shouldn't have been 10-7. It should have been 10-8.
How?
Should have been 10-8.
2 knockdowns in Glory rules, in all K1 style rules, is a 10-7 round, Alex. Learn the rules, my friend. So that's what one knockdown is an automatic 10-8. Okay, so
is it automatically that?
yes, yeah. I sent you the rules.
Well, then look
and I
at
showed
that.
you.
So then with that, then I look at that and go, then round 2 should have been 10-8 for Badahari.
How?
Because
He
he
didn't
knocked
knock
him
him
down.
down?
You say he slipped. I say he knocked him
slipped.
down.
Okay, so if you're counting that one as knockdown, then I count my other 2 as a knockdown. So there, he actually won 10-7. Over him won 10-7. Go back and watch it. I watched it twice. Okay, and I think you need to, listen. I love Badahari, but it's just something about Overeem. I just knew he has it. I'm interested to see if his power can stop Rico. Rico's just a way better striker and technician.
Who? Rico Van Hooven?
Yeah, Rico Verhoeven is going to go against Overeem next, I think.
Oh, Rico's going to kill him.
Oh, yeah, I think his technique, everything. I mean, it's crazy.
Rico and Badahari was a good fight.
Right.
And yeah, dude, Badahari took the knee. What was it, an ACL? Did he tear his ACL? Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was bad.
And that was in the first matchup, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 was going great. The rematch was going fantastic. Actually, Badahari was winning, and didn't he got like a big cut over his eye, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he lost.
Yeah. And that's just how all of his fights have gone, man. It's just been crazy.
It was a good fight. And I think there's no way that Rico doesn't knock out Overeem.
Yeah.
I think Rico killed him. He's too big. He's too skilled.
Yeah.
He's too dominant. It's his time.
And so at the end, Badahari said
nobody else to challenge him. What's up?
Badahari said he's pretty much done. He said it was pretty much
like. What else is he gonna do? What else is he gonna do, man?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Ask Remy Von Jasky if he wants to come back. What's he gonna do? Fight Bob Sapp when he's 73?
Yeah, I mean, and Sammy went into the Hall of Fame. Sammy did. He's retired. So, I don't know, man. I think you guys, if you guys like striking, go and watch Glory. I wish the K1 was still around because I love the Grand Prix style and the tournaments. Go watch, Karate Combat, because I think just these types of stand-up fighting are just fun to watch and to see the different
Karate Combat's going to be where it's at.
Yep.
I think it really is. I think Karate Combat's going to be where it's all at, and I think Karate Combat.
Well, do you remember? So a lot of the Kyokushin fighters, right? They used to go into K1. Now I think a lot of them are going to go into Karate Combat, right?
Makes more sense for them too.
Simi Sho was Kyokushin. Who's the other? That passed away, had an amazing axe kick. He was way
Andy Hoog.
Andy Hoog. Oh yeah, he was a great. Imagine him in Karate Combat back then, man.
Badass.
Yeah, he was crazy. So there were so many guys. Was it Teixeira?
He did Muay Thai fights too.
Yeah, I mean, just crazy. Just how that style, bringing those guys into the Karate Combat would be great to see. And
it's sad that kickboxing might be gone, man. And
I don't know, dude.
I know.
Well, Glory's had some issues, man. I mean, Oh, did you notice what they had to do before the fight even started?
No, what?
Because remember the last Glory pay-per-view, right? There was a riot. All the fans started taking their chairs and throwing stuff. Yeah, it was insane, dude. Go check it on YouTube, guys. Glory kickboxing riot. It's insane. This bunch of what I would call soccer hooligans, which there's a lot of those in Europe. They're all bald. They all took their shirts off. They're all jacked up muscles. They just start throwing and jumping over the guardrail. It was nuts. So that's what happened the last time. When the fight is about to actually happen between Badahari and Overeem, the ref is like, the announcer, we are not starting until everyone sits down. We are not starting because they're a little worried about what the heck's going to happen, especially being in the Netherlands,
So
did you notice the other thing? what town were they in? They were in the home country of Overeem, and he was getting booed. I mean, there was a lot of Moroccans there, but everyone was there.
I didn't know where they were.
Yeah.
So listen. So look at that. So look at what you said. So like they're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Overeem's getting booed. So
a lot of that's because of kickboxing. They still see him as the MMA guy.
And they see Badahari as the actual kickboxer. I get that. But Badahari, he's a leg breaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, meaning he works with the mob, right?
Yeah.
So it's widely been talked about that he's with the Moroccan mafia, right? And so that's why it took so long for him to really get to Glory, because Glory wanted to be a legit thing, and they didn't want to mess with.
They didn't want to mess with him doing that. Yeah,
literal gangster.
Right. And see, when K1 was going on, it wasn't a big deal because they were in Japan a lot, which
nobody cared.
No, Dream and all those were run by the Japanese mafia. You know what was it called? The
I don't know.
I can't. Whatever. I can't think of it. But anyway, it's a name for it. But
so let's look at this. So what we were talking about, we're talking about karate combat. I think karate combat is going to be the next big thing, right? So when I was a kid, when I was starting martial arts, I was not yet a black belt. I remember thinking like this, and I was like a red belt. And I remember thinking like, you know what? I'm going to be a kickboxer, because all my karate instructors
were kickboxers. Yeah.
That's what they did. You became a black belt. You competed for a couple of years at a high level, and eventually you become a kickboxer. And then I looked and I saw Nasty Anderson did that. And I noticed that Bill Wallace did that. And that just kind of seems like that's the thing you do. Like when you're a football player, you know, you're the star of your high school football team, you go to college, and you see if you can get drafted, right? That's just the steps you take, right? So I thought that's what it was that you do. I think that might be the new thing with karate combat. You do karate tournaments for an extended period of time, but then there's this karate combat thing waiting for you.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see Chad Cannon in the PKA, because I think he's going to be a great, for them to relaunch that. Yeah. So PKA is trying to relaunch. It's going to be interesting. They just had their last recruitment one in California, and I think they're going to do one in Austin, Texas, either this weekend or next weekend. So lots of potential next level things for everyone in our sport to maybe go into, So,
Jeff,
we also have Bobby Ceronio, who did an amazing job winning his last fight in Bellator. So, it's really cool, man. Lots of cool things happening.
I just thought about this as I was listening to, because there's a small storm going on over here where I'm at, and I'm hearing my screen door banging, which I got to go fix. I just started thinking about, it's like, dude, do we know anybody who got really wrecked by this hurricane?
I don't know. I don't.
And if there's any, I knew there's like, family, friends, and friends of friends,
right,
who had homes that were just completely destroyed.
Yeah. So, I just know some areas and stuff that were bad, but nothing too bad. But keep all of them in your thoughts and prayers, guys, and everyone, still over this time, because there's still more things coming, So, but definitely, again, go check out Virtual Fight Tour. Get your tickets now, because again, 1:30 Saturday, it's going to go, and there's going to be 2 fights. Well, women's team,
matchups,
men's teams, let's go. It's just going to be wild and crazy. So go and support our America guys, go and support our sport, and go and support Virtual Fight Tour and the Martial Arts Center Network. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us again.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Let's go.